To begin this debate, I would first like everybody to look at what they're wearing. Now look at the person next to you. Imagine a world where you can not wear what you like, and you look like everybody else in this room. How awful would that be? Resolve that the Upper Dublin School District should mandate the policy of school uniforms across the district. As high school students, the concept of individualism is very important to people, and to take away our choices at such a young age is just not fair. We are still trying to figure out who we're going to be in life and grow up to be. We feel that if you were to institute this awful policy, it would lead to bad changes in the way that school is. School uniforms are defined as clothes that the township forces the students to wear without their consent. Right now, I don't see anyone in here wearing a school uniform, and I think we're doing just fine. The reason to make the uniform mandatory is just not fair. The utilization of school uniforms is a subject of sizzling debate among parents and school authorities since long before. One of the main problems that we need to discuss through is the topic of the school board actually forcing the students to wear the uniforms that they choose. My opponents are very misinformed about what would happen if this were to take place. For starters, it would take away the freedom of the students. Being able to choose what we are allowed to wear is one of the basic rights of a juvenile. If you were to take that away, can you imagine the backlash and debates that would follow? One study I found mentions how some students can reject any rules. Forcing them to wear school uniforms only aggravates the rebellious spirit even more. They alter their school uniform by tightening, widening, shortening, or lengthening them, and teachers are given the impossible task of enforcing them. Also, if the school was to do this, they would need to figure out how they would even enforce it. What would the punishments be for the students if they decided just not to wear them? In my elementary school, when I was in 3rd grade, somebody said that we were getting uniforms, and chaos erupted in our class. It wasn't real, but the reaction cements my stance that this could never work. Another reason not to do it is that people have done studies that it actually does not help behavioral issues, against contrary belief. You may believe that it helps because people feel more relaxed, but people are just more uptight and having trouble in school. I know that I would be, if you ask me. Finally, the cost of the uniforms could get out of control. For poor families, how would they pay for them? A lot of them use hand-me-downs, and to make them purchase all new clothes for every day of the week is just not fair. Price-wise, they could run families over $100. Would they be supplied by the school? And if not, how would they pay for them? How much money would they be? The economy is awful right now, and funding for the school is hard to come by as it is. Do you really want them to spend money on something as ridiculous as school uniforms when we need tons of new things like laptops in the school? These are important issues that must be considered when implementing this rule. Just remember, pro-school uniforms is anti-fun in school. From the research that I've done, I anticipate that the arguments of my opposition be the following. Being as naive as them, they'll probably say that it helps the kids concentrate in school. Well, studies show that it doesn't help that at all. That's completely false. Also, they say that it prevents bullying, which it clearly will not. The way you look shouldn't change the way people think of you. That's just not how it should work. Lastly, they'll probably think that it puts kids on an equal social class. That's just not true. People could still give off a snobby image even without their regular clothes. School uniforms hinder the need for self-expression in a student. Sociologists claim that it may cause unsuitable ways of expression by kids, such as offensive usage of makeup or jewelry. Overall, just remember that if the school board was to implement the rule of school uniforms, it would not fix the current and important problems in school. Thank you.